Okay, all right. So the next topic is isolation. Isolation, isolation is a level of spiritual torture. I say it's a level. It is spiritual torture. And so what's happening to a lot of the pretty things and the less aesthetically pleasing things, because remember that spectrum actually for those the most pretty thing and the most unattractive thing. I have to use that word. There's no such thing, but it's all about your perception. You know what I'm saying? So I use it because you know what I'm talking about. But you take those two, and they're actually going to end up being the most. They're going to be on the same spot on the violent spectrum, right? So they're the most pretty thing and the most unattractive thing are both going to be placed in isolation. What happens when you're in isolation, especially if you have like a really good relationship with yourself when you get in there, is that it will start to make you question how good you are. I would imagine that someone who's not attractive by the beauty standards has a really hard time, probably worse than the pretty person. But what you get out of that is the people who alter themselves, right? Because what it's meant to do, this is what isolation is meant to do, is break you up with yourself, to turn you against yourself, right? So someone who's not in tune with themselves will not stand a chance with that. Someone who is, it may take a long time, but it's going to cause like perfectionism to the highest extreme, because think about it like this: women who are cheated on a lot are commonly women who sit at home and just wait for their man to come home, right? So when they do not realize that that is an issue with the man and not themselves, when they're sitting in isolation, the rule about isolation is you're in isolation because there's something about you that is wrong. Yeah, I hear it all the time. Spirit put this person in timeout because they need to get it together. And so that can, though, for those who aren't spiritual, it's going to be, I'm not likable. There's something about me that needs to be fixed. Well, this is how you get a whole bunch of women doing plastic surgery. Because he cheated on me with that girl over there with that feature. So I must need that feature and then he'll stay home. Well, especially for those who are on the unattractive spectrum. Unattractive spectrum. They're definitely going to experience that. Okay, maybe if I just alter myself a little bit, then I can get more people to fuck with me, right? But then when people start fucking with you because you altered yourself, none of the love is real. It's all fake love. Isolation is a very dangerous place to be if you do not know yourself. I have in the last couple of months, especially when the phone got turned off, I have had some of the most interesting conversations with myself. You know, it has spurred on like some of the craziest conversations that I ever have with myself. I'm perfect. Flaws and all. There's nothing that I need to work on. I can spend a lot of time by myself. Don't you remember that time when we didn't have any social media for 5 years? And then after that, we did 1 year, not even a whole year. And then we got off and we did another 3 years, no problem. Don't you remember that? You are fine with not having the internet. You are fine with not having social media. But I can't stand this silence. That's because this level of silence for this extended amount of time is not normal. It's okay. It does not mean that you have an issue with sitting by yourself. This is how I have to talk to myself all the time, because I always like categorize them as me, myself, and I, because that's what it is. And it seems to me that myself is the one that's always having the issues. So me and I are like, it's okay, calm down, calm down. Calm down. Well, I don't work out. I don't work out. Okay, but you're not morbidly obese. You only need like 15 pounds off. But I should be working out more. Well, you do work out about 2 weeks a month. Don't worry. You actually remember when you met the man of the hour? When you met the man of the hour, you wore 2-pound weights on your ankles, and now you wear 15-pound weights, no problem. You are fine. The fupa is a result of the body. Remember, the body automatically cushions you if you are not safe. So as soon as you get into safety, that fupa will disappear immediately. This is a byproduct of the solar plexus. The solar plexus does this to keep you safe. You are okay, and you are actually very physically fit, and you'd be able to run a mile right now if need be. You are very healthy. You are not fat. And you don't have to work out more than 2 weeks a month if you don't want to. You're fine. But my skin is really fucked up. Your skin is really fucked up because some bitches really did run spells on you. And you tried to be the bigger person and not put that on them and put that on yourself. But the facts are, your skin was almost clear in summer 2020. And now, no matter what you do, you just always have this shit on your face. You know? You don't even eat that bad. Your diet is actually really minimal. Like, you went and you switched yourself over to this salad stuff, but you go through phases where you eat fast food and shit. But ultimately, since you've been broke for the last 4 months, you haven't even really touched a burger. And ultimately, you weren't eating anyway. It was all the baby that was eating, and you were like, you were so sick by this situation that you weren't eating, so you never really had a bad diet. Occasionally you'd eat some fucking cookies because you had a sweet tooth. But ultimately you were never in excess. Calm the fuck down. I have something to work on because I'm crying because I'm lonely. Loneliness is not natural. You know, when we tell each other that being alone to work on things, you should be able to do that. What you're actually telling people is that they're not good enough to be fucked with if they have any problems. That's a level of like saying, you know, basically you have no unconditional love. And secondly, what also, you know, you're giving that person like a serious silent treatment. When you let people be in isolation because you believe that they have something to work on, One, you're not displaying unconditional love, and two, you're abusing them. People experience a lot of alone time anyway. You know, driving to work, you're alone. Going to the bathroom, you're alone. I'm just kidding. I'm alone a lot. I've been alone my entire life. I'm alone a lot. You know, like I can remember crying in the yard, begging my cousins to stop. Like, it just invite me, act like you want me to go. They never took me anywhere. Every once in a while they take me out, and the reason they would try to take me out is because I get drinks. But you know, I was broke, and the only reason I was broke is because they were stealing my money. Isn't that funny? Isn't that hilarious? I have no money to go hang out with you, and you don't want to hang out with me because I'm broke, but you were stealing my money. You. How ironic. Nobody wanted to pay for me with my own money for an outing. Nobody wanted to, like, watch my kids. Nothing. I wasn't allowed to do shit. So, this has been going on my entire life. And when I came to that's what I was actually explaining to the man of the hour, is that I've been in isolation in such a way that I am now broken up from myself. Me and myself have been broken up because what I was actually doing when I was drinking and using drugs didn't have everything to do with trying to stay awake. It had a lot to do with coping with being alone. You know, when you drink, you get warm. Like somebody's hugging you. You know, I corset train and stuff like that at night because it's like somebody hugging me. A lot of different, trying to do other things to try to mimic that feeling, and I never could get it. Except for that one time. That one time of intimacy was enough to, like, change my whole life. So now that when I get into isolation and I start to argue with myself, we don't break up.